Welcome to Real 45 with Stefan and Greg Hancock. We vibe out and have real talk, so tune in and check this out. Yeah, today is a new day. Let's seize it now and get hyped. We talking about our careers, our family, and just life. Yeah, share my story with you. Inspiration like every day. Real 45, we gon' keep it live. I keep episodes on replay. Hey, Real 45. Yeah, Real 45. Show them how we do it, man. Yeah.
Hey there, everybody. Welcome back to Real 45 Podcast. This is our episode number 10, or I think I'm going to call it episode X. We're going all Roman numeral. I'm here with my good buddy here, partner in crime, Stefan Janelle. Welcome, Stefan.
Thank you. X for Christmas, or?
X for X Factor. X Factor. We just want to be, we got to be different. You know, I mean, everything's about shortening or abbreviating things, right? So...
True. Make it fast.
X for Christmas. Yeah, for sure. We're going all X, not even 10. X.
So we can have the 10 next time if we like.
That's right. We can still use it. It can go either way. Hey,
so how you doing?
Hey, I'm good. I'm really good. I'm sitting over here in the sunnier parts of the world still, and I'm not going to rub it in, but it's been beautiful. And, you know, obviously, last week we talked about setbacks, and I'm definitely not living in a setback at the moment. I'm living in a really good situation here with this warm weather and approaching Christmas, and it feels like we're getting robbed of winter Christmas, white Christmas. There's no such thing as that in Southern California.
So you have to look at TV then and seeing the snow. Yeah,
well, I got that. A little bit of inspiration from you, because that video you sent me earlier of you walking in the frozen grass with your bare feet, acting like you were walking on sand and staring down at the beach. So, yeah.
And I had a son too. It was a big strålkastare.
Strålkastare. A big light?
I don't know. Yeah, a big light.
A
strong light. It looks like the sun when you filmed it with a phone.
Oh well, I'm still here, and even if Santa is riding around on a surfboard and looking for the best wave, it's still Christmas, so I can live with that.
Yeah, I could do that too.
And you're hey, we had a good episode last week with the setbacks and talking about how it was, and seeing the way that we're trying to get more and more listeners and people to understand how I don't even know how I want to say this. I just lost my train of thought.
Could you do that?
You know what? Believe it or not, yes, I could. I could do that. I guess I was so focused on saying the right thing that I totally screwed it up. Can I start again?
Oh yeah, you're welcome. Let's start again. Real 45. Yeah. No.
Yeah. Anyway, episode 10. Here we go. We're talking about listeners, and if our listeners are growing every week, and it feels really cool. We're trying to push our social media and see how many more new people, people or areas we can reach to get more listeners, to get more feedback, more likes, and all that kind of stuff, which is always the key today, you know. And the podcast has been so fun, and we're sharing I'm sharing my life experiences, you're sharing your life experiences, and we're just talking about things in general. So we want to share that with other people, and hopefully they're finding it interesting. And social media is like the way forward.
And there's so much positive feedback from the listeners, but it's a hard time to get out there to the big audience.
That's true. And I'm always the kind of guy too, from when we started the podcast, like, do people really want to listen to me? Who wants to hear what I got to say, you know? But it's been really fun. You just talking about life, and you get some, like you said, the feedback is what feeds us to keep moving forward and come up with new ideas and see what people are looking for. What content is more attractive to them? Is it your everyday lifestyle? Is it your profession, your career, what you do for fun, your family? I don't know.
Yeah, exactly. That would be nice to hear from you that listen to this pod. If you can comment what you would hear more about it.
For sure. Because I have this long list of things I want to talk about. Like, I want to tell people about things that I've done, and I get more and more motivated every week. I'm like, gosh, yeah, I want to talk about this. I want to talk about that. And then I sit back, I'm like, people don't want to listen to that. What the heck are they going to find interesting in I don't know, Chevy pickup trucks?
But I think that it is interesting to hear somebody's story and actually getting it from the person directly.
Yeah, probably true. I love hearing that from the people that I follow and the podcasts that I listen to. I find it like highly so much interest. Even people I don't even know. I've started listening to other podcasts of random race car industry based podcasts and radio interviews and things like that. And it's so cool to hear speed secrets, or how somebody builds a racing team, or how they create a budget, or how they manage their money or their employees and things like that. It's pretty neat. You can learn so much out there. And yeah, I know. I kind of want to share some of the things I've done.
Yeah. And I think that if we're talking about social media, do you remember when you started your Instagram account?
I don't remember the exact day, but I more remember when I started with my Twitter account.
Oh.
And
when was that?
Gosh, I can't remember the exact date, but I remember when I did it. I mean, it must be 4 or 5 years ago. And I was, yeah, I think so. Cause I was here, a good buddy of mine, Sean Diulo, he was kind of, he's always kind of hitting on me to different ways that I should, or pushing me to do, not hitting on me.
Not like that.
Not like that. Sorry, Sean. But he's always pushing me with different ideas, and hey, you got to consider this, or have you ever looked at that, or what you're doing in the sport and how you are. In one way, he was the kind of guy who always encourages me to be more vocal with what I'm doing in that sense, in a positive manner. And he pushed me on Twitter for quite a long time, and I was, I don't want to. Again, I don't know what he wants to see or listen or hear. I remember when he was here with me when I opened the account and started it, and watching it go. And I remember my posts, the amount of posts that I was putting out and the amount of followers I was getting, they were following the same kind of timeline, So if I put out 100 posts, I had 100 followers. If I got 1,000 posts, I had 1,000 followers, or something to that nature. It was going really crazy. And it was really, really fun how things would improve watching it like that. I don't know. I was like a freak in the beginning.
But how did it feel to have that many people that actually followed you and listened to what you said?
You get, especially in the beginning, you get really excited. It's all about the followers, right? And the feedback. The thing is, once you start somebody gives you a reply to a photo you put out or a quote that you put out, they come back with a reply, and then you have to respond to that. You feel like I got to respond to every single one. But when you get up to sort of, 10,000 followers, and then you get to 20,000 or 40,000 and 66,000 now on Instagram, it's really hard to respond to 66,000 people if everybody puts out a little feedback. And it doesn't always go like that, of course, but there's quite a few people that go, and then you start to feel guilty. Gosh, I didn't answer that person. And they're going to be mad at me, and then they're going to stop following you. You feel like it doesn't work like that, but it's
no, but I can see what you mean.
Yeah, it's gratifying though. When you see someone, you get another follower, and then you get 10 followers, and then you get like 25 followers. You get like, oh, cool, people like what I'm doing, and I see it now with my kids too. You see when they're doing their YouTube channels or their vlogs or their Instagram or their likes, it's all about how many likes they've got and how many people are following them. And it's the same for me. And now what we're doing here, social media it's huge. It's like, it's taken over our lives.
It does. And it's hard to just stop watching things for a day. Have you tried that? not taking your phone up and don't look at Twitter or Instagram or Facebook for a whole day?
I think I have done that, and I've managed to go like probably 2 days without doing it. But that was only one time that I've done that. I have a hard time to go a whole day without looking at it. It's nearly impossible. You're just, you're so curious, and you open the phone up and you see that icon for Instagram or Twitter or whatever, and you go, or Facebook, and you're like, you scroll over it with your finger. I can just a quick look. You gotta hit it, right?
And it's not actually every time you open it, it's nothing new. It's just it's just some new videos that have you done that? When you go to bed and then you start watching a video, and when that's done, it just open a new video with something else.
Yeah.
And then they're 3 hours later.
YouTube was very clever with that one.
Oh yeah.
They know
it's so fun.
They know how to keep you in front of the darn camera,
Yeah.
Or the screen.
But something I always wondered about because when I get a new like, for example, on Instagram, and if I put a photo up, maybe I got 20 likes and I'm good. That's a good one. But then I got a notice for every new like. If you have 66,000 followers and everybody would like you, do you get a notice for all of them? Like your phone goes crazy. How does it work?
Yeah, no kidding, right? I had to shut my notifications off because, things like that, just those little things like that. Every time you get a notification of somebody likes something, then you're like, it fills up your screen first of all. Then you're curious, hey, which one did they like? So then you got to go back and see it, and then it all kicks off again.
Oh, so that's how it works. You just turn it off, and then you can go in, and then you got the hearts.
That's the only way I can do it, because otherwise that thing fills it up, and then I get too curious. So I have to fool myself by turning the notifications off, so I don't keep looking back to see which photo they liked and what they were talking about, and then it becomes a reply. And I hope that answers your question.
Oh yeah, it does. And then your family gets like, "Great, shouldn't we eat food now?" You're like, "No, I'm just answering."
Yeah, and I was reading something a while back too that's like, we're so attached to our telephones, 24 hours a day nearly. It's a good thing, like an hour before you go to bed, to put your phone away and just forget about it, so you can clear your mind and don't go to bed thinking about something you were just looking at or scrolling through. And it can be healthy for you just to clear your mind before you go to sleep. But do you think I do that?
No, I don't think so.
Of course I don't.
That's the last thing you do. But that's something good with podcasts, isn't it? Because you can put your phone away, still have your earphones in, and have some nice dudes talking about Speedway or social media or something before you go to sleep.
That's all I do. It's just a couple of dudes I like to listen to that tell some really cool stories about what they're up to and, what it's like to live on two sides of the world, or, race around a motorcycle. Doesn't everybody listen to that?
They should. No, but I think that's one thing that is really good about podcasts. When we started this and talked about YouTube and podcasts or whatever we should do, I think podcast is one of the things that you actually can listen to while you're in your car, or while you're going to sleep, or if you're on the airplane, you can just download it and don't have to have Wi-Fi. That's harder with YouTube.
That's pretty true, right? You can't just do all of those things. And exactly what you said, I'm finding myself doing it more and more, downloading different episodes of various things. And phone, airplanes, not all airplanes these days have Wi-Fi, or not yet anyway. So it's actually good, because then you have to shut down, right? You can't stay on be so active out there. And whether you have a flight that's an hour or 2 hours or 10 hours, it's pretty nice not having the Wi-Fi, because then you actually have to listen to something else, read something else, relax, or whatever you do. So podcasts for me are awesome. I get so much more out of these just sitting and putting the earphones in and kicking back, whether I'm going to go for a ride in the car or go for a walk with the dog or anything like that. It's super influential.
Yeah, something that I noticed when we look at it, there is hard to get really good stats from podcasts because you don't know how, if someone have actually listened to it or if they just download it. Downloads you can see, but you can't see how many has actually listened to an episode.
Mm-hmm.
But what we can see is that I think it's like 80 or 85% of all of them. I think it's that high. Anyway, there are a lot more people that have iPhone that listen to podcasts, at least our podcast. And I Googled that, and that seems to be the thing. People with iPhones listen to more podcasts than Android people does.
Really? Why is that?
I don't know. Because I don't know if there is, because of the podcaster app in iPhone that comes with a phone.
Mm.
But I mean, there are good apps on Android too.
Of course.
So they should. And I wonder if there actually is Apple people or Google people, or if it's just the same people that doesn't. Why is the behavior like that? And how can we make Google people or Android people listen to our pod more? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I do. I mean, and you guys in your line of work, you build websites. Obviously, you guys are directly involved with helping people to expand with media and stuff like that too. Do you guys work with Apple? Do you work with PC, or what do you use in general? Or is it a variety of different people, different guys running with different operating systems? When you're building a website, for instance.
Yeah, at our company, there is a variety. I think that 1, 2, 3, 4 or 5 people have Apple, but 2 of them doesn't have an Android phone, but they have a Mac computer.
Wow! Oh, so they mix.
Yeah, because they are programmers and they want to make. The thing is that the Mac computer have Linux in the operating system. That's something made for servers. In the bottom of the core of the system.
Okay.
So that is a good thing, but an iPhone is more, or an Android is more configurable than an iPhone. I think. Okay. So I don't know, but I don't know why they don't listen to the podcast. Why there are so much more people that are listening to a podcast on an iPhone than on an Android. But we should work on that. Or if somebody has the answer, please tell me.
Yeah.
Help us with that.
You can tell me too, because I have no idea. I'm asking Stefan.
Yeah. And I don't know why, but that's the behavior looked like that.
So do you think?
That's strange.
I mean, we're trying with our social media too here, with obviously with Instagram, and then on the Podbean here too. We try hard, or Facebook as well, trying to push this thing to get more people interested in what we're doing and get ideas from the general public about how they feel about the podcast. What do you like to hear most? What do you like so far? I mean, we have our timeline of things we want to do. However, it's really fun checking out the difference in the interviews that we've had so far with guys like Perry Onsen and Peter Carlson, and then us talking in general, interviewing my mom. There's so many plans to talk about different things in my career and my life, and obviously what our everyday stuff that you and I share between us.
Yeah,
I'm curious.
One thing that you realize when you're starting to actually doing things like this is that it takes time. So social media, if you have like 2 or 3 channels, you have Instagram, you have Facebook, and you have Twitter, for example.
Mm-hmm.
They take time, and the easiest thing is to put out the same thing on all of them. You just put out, there is a new episode. Hey, look at this.
Right.
But actually, if you had time and you can make everything perfect, you should talk to the different channels in different ways, I think. And use them and listen to the followers and see how they react to it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Try different things, and we should put out more posts also. Because like Facebook, I think that if you have 100 followers for a page, there's actually just 10 people that sees the post that you do in the first. If you put out a post, I think there are 10% that can see that post. Maybe they see them in a timeline, longer, but not at instance. When they open the Facebook, that's not the first thing that's come up for all of them. So more posts and different people can see it.
And I remember discussing with a media colleague not long back, and they said the same about elaborating kind of the way you just said that too. People who are on Twitter are not often or not always also on Instagram, for instance. So your post can be, if you're just sharing the information, maybe it is a different crowd, right? So they don't really, whatever post you put out on Twitter has kind of a different target than Instagram, because Instagram's got the photo attached to it most of the time.
Exactly.
That you're talking about, rather than just a quote that can be also followed by a photo.
Yeah. And Instagram is cool because you can have these photos, but there is no direct links on the post. You can't make a link on it. So then you have to get people to click on your profile and then on your link.
Yeah, go into your bio or something too. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
but it's quite interesting how it works. But you had your Twitter and Instagram for quite a long time now.
That's right.
And you can see how people react to different things. If it is personal things or if it's professional things, or can you see what your followers actually likes more?
In general, I think they like, it is different between Instagram and Twitter for sure. But, obviously I share a lot of different things that I do and experiences and people I get the opportunity to meet, or the fortunate to be here or be there. And I get to do some really cool stuff, and I'm so jazzed about it with what the Speedway world has given me. It opened so many doors, and of course with Monster Energy too, what they've, the combination of all these rad things I've done over the years. So I always share that, and you don't always get a response to everything you do, but the people still respond more to the sport, things I put out to do with my racing. I think more than anything, they really want to hear what you got going on the racing side, or a cool photo, or what you think about a new rule or a regulation or something like that. It is quite interesting. Twitter for me is, and that way I think I find I put a lot less photos there, but we'll put the odd quote out. And sometimes I'm sitting there and I want to post something and I think, maybe that's not the right thing to put, because you don't want to say the wrong thing. Sometimes you just want to say what comes to mind, but then you got to think about, okay, maybe there's a contract somewhere that I can't say that because that sounds too critical of something, even though it's not directly linked to a club or a league or a sponsor or anything. So freedom of speech isn't always so adamant, but it's also, you can put something out that gets people going, and you want to get something, you want to get a topic created because people need to know things that are going on. And there's other things going on behind the scenes today too, that you think, gosh, people need to know this. However, you can't be the one who puts it out there either. And you want to open the conversation because you want feedback. We need I'd like to hear what the fans think of this, or my followers think of this, and some ideas or some advice even, it can go all around. So I'm careful in the way I do it, but sometimes you just want to shoot from the hip.
Exactly. And that's a hard thing to do, just to see if you can do it or not, or is it quite clear? This is okay and this is not.
Yeah, for sure. That's the question, right? Is it okay or is it not? But
exactly.
Every once in a while you throw it out there, and even on some media things, I put something out there, and it's good that I've got Josh too, my manager too, because sometimes you put a photo out or you do something and he'll go, hey, maybe you want to fix that because he'll see something that I didn't see or I overlooked, and I'm like, I didn't even think about that. He's like, oh, well, that's what I'm here for. Like, oh, good. Whew. So he's got his eye on me 24/7, So in case I do something without thinking about it.
Hey, you know what? I have a small problem.
Yeah.
Speaking of computers and stuff like that, and forgetting things at the office, my power supply is at the office, and I'm sitting home with 5% battery.
You actually, are you human? Really? You forget stuff?
I do, and I didn't tell you about it before, but now we're on.
Are you saying, should we just finish this podcast right here then? What are we at, 26 minutes or something?
Oh, yeah.
Thereabouts?
About there.
Hey, you know what? I'm done talking anyway, because I might say something I shouldn't say, and I don't want to do that.
Oh, that's good. But I'm really sorry about this, but Christmas is coming up, and that's a good thing.
That's a really good thing, and you're going to be here in like 10 days approximately. So we're going to, or whatever the time frame is here now when I look at the calendar. Anyway, you're going to be here in California really soon, and
yeah,
we got lots to talk about. And also, have you heard my conversation with Carl?
I have, and that is it's so cute, and we should actually put it up there.
We might have to. I did a really cool interview with my little man, Carl, that is just top notch, man. And we might just have to throw this one out somewhere random in between because it is too cool. He was playing with the microphone, and I just hit record and had the most rad interview with him. So I think it's really rad, and I would really like to share it with all you guys. So we'll have to put it out there one day in the near future.
Maybe we should do that somewhere in between this and next time, or like a Christmas present, because it's really cute.
It's super cool. We'll do it for sure. But hey, save your 5%.
Yeah.
Everybody, thanks again for listening to episode X. And hey, remember, follow us on Instagram, Real 45 Podcast, on Facebook, on Podbean. We always say it. We continue to say it. Please share it. We love to have your feedback, and give us a review or give us some information. Tell us what you think. We really want to grow this thing, and we've got big plans ahead, and including a potential partnership with somebody who wants to join in. So watch and learn. We'll see what happens as we go forward. Have a great week. Merry Christmas in the days ahead, and happy holidays. So this is me checking out. Stefan?
Yeah. Merry Christmas and happy holiday, and talk to you soon again.
You got it. Keep it sideways, guys. Green to win.
Green to win.
Welcome to Real 45 with Stefan and Greg Hancock. We vibe out and have real talk, so tune in and check this out. Yeah, today is a new day. Let's seize it now and get hype. We talking about our careers, our family, and just life. Yeah, share my story with you. Inspiration like every day. Real 45, we gon' keep it live. I keep episodes on replay. Hey, Real 45. Yeah, Real 45. Show them how we do it, man.